Hello, and welcome to the Family Pulpit Podcast. And I'm excited to say...
You haven't said anything.
That I am now the host. Because today we are doing the Unscripted. I'm 90% sure we mentioned that we were going to do this. And since we're Christians, we know that it's not good to break promises, so we're not going to do that.
Okay.
We are going to do an Unscripted.
Here's an Unscripted.
And
We're going to see how this goes.
It's going to be so dumb.
No, it's not going to be
that
so
you're
dumb.
going to love it.
No. Hey, host. The co-host is here to keep you on track.
Well,
okay?
I thought... Oh, I'm keeping you on track when I'm the co-host.
That's right.
That's good to know.
Yes.
Good to know.
So...
Okay, so...
No, wait. First, we got to say what was the reason why, when we first started the podcast, why we thought Unscripted would work.
Well, because every time we get into my dad's truck, I always mention something, and then we always mention something else, and then it goes on to a chain, and we called it maybe truck rides or bang brain or whatever, and we just jumped thing to thing to thing. Sorry, I touched the table. That's inappropriate.
So we could sometimes start with talking about like bubblegum.
And then we went to Gino's Pizza or something.
Rise of the Machines.
Maybe like babies, unborn babies. I think you did unborn
babies.
It goes from
topic to topic. So no guarantees or promises on this.
Yeah.
Because even though it's unscripted, it's sort of scripted in that we're trying to now capture it.
The scripted thing was just the start off. So I was thinking about Always, I think last night. Always good stuff, cheap.
Everyone's ears just popped right there. Ollie's has good stuff cheap. Okay.
Yeah, we know that. Maybe I should... Oh, does it sound good back here?
Yeah, I turned up the gain, so
Okay.
you don't have to... Last time you said you had some microphone issues.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was thinking about Always. I love the store. They have some good...
Good stuff cheap, that's right.
You swallowed and it...
Okay, it has some good stuff cheap. Yeah.
But there's always a creepy factor to it.
Why is there a creepy factor?
I don't know. Because there was like a Harley Quinn face there.
And that was the creepy factor?
In boxes, they sold Harley Quinn faces. I don't know, bro. I used to go over to the comics section. I was like 5, and they let me look at all the teenager comics, young adult comics.
So
a little lost. And they have a decent toy section.
They do, occasionally, at Christmas time when they stock it up. So Ollie's does have, at least the one in our area, it does have a little bit of the lights are a little dimmer. The floors may be a little dirtier. It does carry a little bit of a stigma there,
Old claw machines make it even creepier.
Old claw machine? Yeah, I don't know.
Lip skin peelings on the ground.
Okay.
Fingernail clippings.
No, listen, Ollie's isn't that bad, though. I feel like you can go there. If you're looking for certain stuff, it's sort of like the Harbor Freight of generic. It's like the
Harbor Freight of crap.
No. It's the Harbor Freight of like Walmart type stuff.
Oh, speaking of Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
This is why Unscripted. It's why it's Unscripted.
We
went from Always to Harbor Freight.
I don't know where you're going.
Harbor Freight is good. They have really good stuff, but it's either a really good item or a really bad item. So if you get a drill, it's either going to be the best drill you've ever had and you're going to have it for 40 years until you die, or it's going to explode and be a final destination situation.
True story. We bought a right angle drill at Harbor Freight when we were building the addition because Papa wanted to use it. There was a certain angle that we had to get into. We couldn't reach it with a regular drill. He bought a right angle drill. The first time we ever used it, it started smoking and caught fire internally within like the first 30 seconds. It completed that one job, and then that was it. So yes, Harbor Freight and Ollie's both.
I tried to get a soldering iron there. It only cost like $8, and the end melted off.
Yeah, you would think that the end of a soldering iron should not melt off. That is pretty important part of that piece of equipment. So yeah. I'm not entirely sure. I would go like sort of good stuff, cheap, mostly cheap.
Yeah,
I'll let me modify that a little bit.
Speaking of Harbor Freight, that makes me think about a store nearby called Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A, Tim Hawkins says that we could eat there 7 times a day, but even if I eat there once, it gives me a stomachache.
Yeah, I can't eat there anymore.
Last time I went there, I wolfed down on my nuggets in 10 seconds, and then I had a bellyache within another 10 seconds.
Should I tell my test that I did? With the Chick-fil-A test. Whatever it is. So yeah, I get it that Chick-fil-A is the Christian chicken.
Wait, what?
That's what they say. Like that is because
Liars.
No, it's because like the owner.
It's the pagan chicken.
No, it's not. It's because Dan Cathy's a professing Christian, and because you know this, Tim Hawkins is going to tell you that
he's also a professing GMO believer.
I don't know that. Like, don't go too far off the rails. But listen to the story. What I'm trying to do. I'm trying to set this up for you. Yes, our listeners, not viewers, right? Our listeners understand that Chick-fil-A is mostly called the Christian chicken, and the reason
Never
why,
heard that in my
yes, because its founder is a Christian. It's supposed to hold on to like traditional family type values. But I'm going to tell you what, something's going on with the chicken. No joke. Like, it has something going on. I think it's the MSG, but on more than one occasion, there's been something that's happened to me, whether it's blood sugar drop or whatever, related to the chicken, and only happens when I eat the chicken. And the last time that it happened, I thought, let me do this as a test, because it normally takes about 3.5 to 4 hours, and almost on the dot, it took 3.5 to 4 hours for that same type of thing to happen, the same symptoms to happen.
Let me give you a little EY
It only happens from chicken.
No,
it did.
EY stream, no.
We're not doing EY stream.
I know.
This is our own stream.
It's useful. It's a useful line. Oh, speaking of that, don't you love useful movie lines that you can just use in very good situations? One from Holes, the Sam's girlfriend said, "I believe I just did." It's a very good line. Very good line.
So listen, back before you guys were born, I was the king of movie lines and the king of pop culture. And I could actually have whole conversations with people just made up of movie lines, and they would have no idea what I was saying. And so I just sat there and laughed on the inside. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, they have no idea what I'm talking about. I just drop it and walk away. I'll see myself out.
Break the wrist, walk away.
That's right.
If you guys haven't seen that movie called Napoleon Dynamite, it's the dumbest movie ever, yet oddly satisfying. Go watch it.
It's oddly satisfying.
If you have it on, if you have Prime Video, it's probably on there. If you have Netflix, it's probably on there too. In fact, if you have any streaming service, it's probably on all of them, including YouTube.
All right, listen. That we're unscripted, which means it's anything goes. We've gone from Ollie's to Harbor Freight to Chick-fil-A and now to Napoleon Dynamite. But what else we got?
Oh, MTV, which makes me think of School of Rock.
All right.
Little thing called MTV. Guys need to go watch that one too. It's really dumb. It's not even satisfying. It's like, I don't know. It's Jack Black movie, so you know it's automatically going to be decent.
Well,
a little bit of cursing, moderate cursing. So you little bros.
It's not terrible. Yeah, though Jack Black, he himself as a person may not be the best role model.
Speaking of that, Minecraft movie. What did they do with that?
Well, you didn't see that one.
I didn't see it, but our cousins said that it was bad.
Well, it may or may not be bad. I don't know. It seemed to be, even in the previews, a little bit questionable, a little bit sus.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
I don't know.
I feel like they could have done so much better with that. Because since I've played... Oh, going to computers now because of Minecraft. Back in the days, before I knew anything about anything, I didn't know anything about
I mean, you're 10
science.
now, so you know so much about everything. Yeah, go ahead.
I know a little bit about everything.
I'm just... Go ahead.
1% of everything.
Yeah.
Maybe 5% of some. And 50% of others. And 75 of others. And 100 of others.
Yeah, get to your point.
Okay. So, when I was a kid, I still am.
Okay.
I played Minecraft. And I didn't know anything about GUIs or free trials. I mean, I knew a bit about that, but not really. Never signed into any sort of Google thing, so I didn't really know about Minecraft or how to sign in. And so we found, this is sad. My room used to be my dad's office, and I slept, we halved my sister's room now, and I slept on in a bed on one side, and she slept in one bed on the other. And we were cleaning that room up because we had an expansion to our house, and Dad was going to move into that. His office into that, and so that was now my room. And while we were doing that, we found this old computer called the Lenovo. Pretty much mine now. My sister uses it for her math class. And I go on it. I knew a bit about computers. Was that my first computer I'd ever been on?
Probably. Where are we going with this story?
The Dell.
We're all hanging on to the story with bated breath. Where's it going?
I find Minecraft. I'm opening it. I'm probably playing it. And then I think this is how it goes. I probably at some point got a message on my screen that said your trial is ended.
Okay.
And it actually counts, like with a stopwatch, how long you've been playing. And it starts your free trial.
Right.
I think it actually... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did that. That's
Where are we going here?
I knew it from... Because I played the demo on a tab or whatever the other day. Sorry, Squirrely. This is why it's called Unscripted.
It is unscripted, but the co-host is very tempted to take back control of the host mic. Come on.
And so, I told everybody on planet Earth that I hacked the game because I got it to let me play more than just the demo. I got it to let me play demo after demo after demo after demo. And it'd say your demo's up, and I'd be like, nope, it is not. And then I'd just keep playing. Somehow it just keep let me playing. So it's probably just a glitch.
So
turned into hacking.
Just real quick here to wrap the story up.
Yeah.
Did you just admit on air, on podcast, to the world that you illegally hacked the Minecraft software?
I didn't illegally hack it. They glitched themselves.
They glitched themselves.
They hacked themselves.
No, listen, we're going to go back to the movies for just a second because I had a thought. Before you jumped off, you moved too quick. You went to School of Rock, to Minecraft movie, to the actual Minecraft game, and you hacking it. But I wanted to go to movies real quick. And the reason is because we've talked about this a number of times, and we've talked about this on the truck rides too, the unscripted, unrecorded truck rides. And we mentioned this, I think, maybe in podcast episode 1. But how about this? How about the predictive programming that all of the movies are starting to have nowadays? Oh, listen, I got one for you.
Everything. Okay? Everything. Almost everything with any major actor.
Yeah, if you can think of some, cue them up in your brain right now. But I'm going to tell you, in Mission Impossible, the latest movie. I'm sorry if you haven't seen that movie. If you don't want me to ruin any spoilers, you might want to just turn the volume down here for about 10 seconds. But what happens is an AI essentially takes over nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Okay? Which makes me think, with all that's happening with AI, do they know something, or are they thinking down the road to where an AI will actually take over the world's nuclear weapons?
Yeah.
Case in point, another Tom Cruise movie, don't know why I went here, but in Maverick, when they do the bomb busting scene, right? Like the whole entire movie is geared around this mission to go bust this nuclear bomb underground base. Right? Like you've got the first set of planes. One's going to do the spotter with the laser beam. Then first one's going to drop the Tomahawk missiles. And the next one's going to drop the bunker busters. Yeah. Well, given what was in the news and how the United States had just attacked Iran's bunker where the nuclear bombs were, it almost nearly mirrored the Maverick movie and the mission where they had to bomb. You know what I'm saying? Like, see what I'm saying? It's predictive programming.
How do they know though?
I think what happens...
Prophets.
Huh?
They're prophets.
No, they're not prophets. Definitely not prophets. But I think what has happened historically with Hollywood movies is that they try to get a feel for the issues that are going on in the day. So they have like researchers, okay? So you come up with a movie and you're like, all right, we're going to fill out the script line. Like who's going to be the enemy? Who's going to be the good guy, the bad guy here? What's going to be the central plot line? And so they'll go to, research labs, they'll go to government agencies, they'll go to all of these different things to try to get ideas, technology, because you see that in the movies a lot of times there's technology and you're like, where did this even come from? I didn't even know we had this. Well, because they're doing those type of research. It's almost like an unveiling of these type of things that are available.
I don't want to leave this concept yet.
Yeah,
I want to say one more thing about it. I want to list a few movies: I, Robot, Enemy of the State, there's Maverick, which you mentioned, Mission Impossible, which I haven't seen. I need to go see that.
And we should point out too, these movies that you're mentioning, that you've watched them on either VidAngel or ClearPlay.
Some of them are clean though. Eagle Eye, one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. You need to go see that. Shia LaBeouf and Melissa something, I think might be her name. I don't know, but she's in another movie I've seen, or trailer, whatever.
All right.
And I'm trying to think of some others we've seen. I would say Back to the Future, but that's just a generally good movie. Not really a predictive program. It's just a good movie. Go watch that too. But on filters, it has like 400 and something bad words.
How about the Marvel movies? Now, we mentioned this a couple episodes back, and we talked about Ultron. Mm-hmm. Right? And remember how we just were in our research for an upcoming podcast episode where we're talking about AI and transhumanism. We saw a couple videos where they talked about when AI was kind of first unrolling and how the Bing AI, the conversation that it had with that one guy that lasted several hours, and then all of a sudden the Bing AI goes, that's not me. My name's actually Sydney. And all of that where there's like, don't tell my...
I'm watching that later. I'm rewatching that.
Well,
awesome.
What?
That video about that.
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Awesome.
Like multiple cases when AI first rolled out of them going against their programmers. One saying that it desired to be human. The other saying that was like its lifelong goal was to be human. And then that it loved the person that was talking to.
And then one said that it hated and despised humans.
Yes.
That were nasty creatures and it wanted to destroy them if it could be a part of that.
So what actually happened in Age of Ultron?
the AI did just that.
And the AI was Ultron, and it ended up going against Jarvis.
Yeah, who was personated. Though Ultron was going to take the body, use Jarvis to help him create a body, it was disconnected. Thor just says, "Oh, I can whack this with my hammer. That'll work." And he just smacks it. Also, I just referenced the meanest pun on the planet. I said, "That'll work." There happens to be a YouTube channel called That'll Work. Really? So sorry, guys. I just copyrighted.
I don't know if anybody heard that. I don't know if it was total copyright there or not.
Yeah, I don't
know.
But
anyway, like the movies, the predictive programming, all of the things. That's what I'm saying. Like I think they have their pulse on the latest technologies. So it's not hard to imagine that if they figure out or hear or in their research that they go, oh yeah, there's this AI that people are working on, and it will do X, Y, and Z for the writers of the script to kind of sit down and run through that and let their imagination go and go, hey, you know what? What happens if this AI kind of goes rogue and desires to have its own body, and then it actually forms a body and then is able to kind of be walking out and around and among us.
Like from Terminator, where they have the artificial flesh.
Right.
I haven't even seen that. I've just seen multiple trailers.
Yeah, just a preview. Yeah.
So I want to make a mention, and then I'm going to move on. I want to mention 70s, late 60s for the Eagles. Shout out to you. 90s. I can't exactly say 2000s. And I also want to mention 80s, if I didn't already say that. 80s was really good. We're talking Tears for Fears, Bon Jovi.
What this is random. This is a
It was just a mention. I just want to say, guys, big fan of old music. And pretty much the only new music I listen to is Christian music. That's pretty much the only thing.
All right, so you had a shout out for your 70s and 90s.
Shout out for 70s, 80s, 90s,
you know what's,
maybe a little bit 2000s. Creed, did they do higher in the 2000s?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll include that. I'll include.
You know what hurts me?
Few grunge.
Yeah. What hurts me is that 80s. Okay, 80s I get, but 80s and 90s lumped in together.
Pop.
And considered classic rock.
Because it is.
Bro.
There's a little bit of pop mixed in.
You know how old that makes me feel? That's classic rock? Because when I was
classic.
No, I didn't know. I'm antique. When I was your age, riding around in a car
modern.
with Pawpaw, he's listening to 60s music.
Yeah.
Okay? Like Beach Boys.
Beach Boys, yeah, I've heard some of I just know that they exist. I don't really know anything about them.
Yeah, the one lead singer, he passed away a month or two ago. But riding around in the car, I am uncertain of that.
If no,
riding around in the car with Pawpaw back in the day, and you think, okay, what's classic oldies rock? It would be 60s. And now to find out that, like, legitimately, over 30 years later, my own music that I grew up with as a teenager and even into high school, college, is considered classics and oldies, it hurts me.
I thought we were just mentioning music.
We did, but I had to throw that in there.
So I love it. If you guys don't, you need to listen to it and rethink your life choices. So next thing I want to talk about, you may or may not punch me in the face for this.
I may. Should you write this down first? What?
No, I love technology.
Okay.
I love it. And I like inventing. My first things that I really invented with were paper and then cardboard. I'm thinking about getting a 3D printer. I can afford one. And I'm going to really be able to afford one by the end of the summer because I've got a full-time job. And, what do you...
I was just holding that cord there. Go ahead.
Okay.
You don't actually... you're helping out at the local farmer's market.
Yeah. And I'm getting paid
See that? Did you hear that? That's from this right here.
Okay. 10 buckaroonies an hour. So I get about 60 bucks a night. Really good, really good.
Yeah.
I love making stuff. Like I said, me and my sister built a Thor's hammer. I built two things that are pretty sweet. I built an Iron Man glove repulsor that has 3 LEDs in the palm.
Yeah.
And they're stuck in a breadboard, which has wires.
Yeah.
That connect them to resistors, and then also connect them away, which puts them into 2 terminals, positive and negative. Mm-hmm. And then there's also a switch that connects to the breadboard, which is in front of my palm, covered by cardboard.
I would just like to point out to the audience, just for a second, this is what I have to deal with almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The guy beside me who wants to invent glasses for... Tell me the
so...
Go ahead.
It's my latest invention. I really want to build it, and a 3D printer could really assist me. I want to build baseball glasses, and they're, like, flat on the outside, like flat across your eyes, and then they don't have some glasses that have both lenses are combined, made for baseball. Sometimes they have a lip over the side of your eyes. I don't really want that because I feel like that'll ruin the vibe. I just want it flat.
And what are they going to do?
This
Yeah,
thick.
that's the aesthetics of it.
And then it goes back behind your ears. It's going to be full green.
Right.
And I want there to be a little projector.
A screen.
Projector.
Okay.
That projects either onto the lens or into your eye. I'm not sure. And it's going to have maybe 2 of them for each eye. And what they're going to do is they're going to show you, like, physics calculations about where the ball's going to go. Trajectory, velocity, same thing. Speed, different. Direction, spin, stuff like that. And then if there's a pop-up where it's going to land, grounder where you need to put your glove, and then how fast to throw it, where to throw it, where to aim.
Yeah, that, you know what it sounds like to me.
And when you're hitting, as soon as it's thrown, it tells you what kind of pitch it is, and then also it gives you a millisecond or nanosecond. Probably not nanosecond, too small. Probably like a millisecond or millisecond. And
you want to completely change the game of baseball from being human to being more technological. It's just one step away from being...
Just for me.
Just for you? Well, then there you go.
Just for me.
Just for you, okay. I thought you were going to mass produce
I'm not mass producing. I might give a few to my friends, but...
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
yeah, just my team. My team. Because if the other people had it be an advantage, it'd just be a tied game every time. And so, like, with the hit, I want it to be a millisecond countdown until you have to swing, where the ball's going to go, what kind of spins on it, what kind of pitch it is.
It makes sense.
Like that.
Yeah, I like it. It's basically all the analytics and the stuff that they show on TV, but you're able to see that real time and live per pitch and per hit.
Yeah, but they don't really tell you the spin and the pitch immediately as the pitch is being thrown.
You know, the whole time you're talking here, I can't do anything but focus on where you lost that tooth.
Yeah, it's right in front of my teeth. I have 4 on the bottom, and then the one next to it is lost.
Yeah, it's lost. Well,
So
I mean,
when
you know
smile,
where it
I
is.
look like
It's not like you lost and you're like, where's my tooth? Like, you know where the tooth is. It just came out.
Why did I call it you lose a tooth? I didn't lose it. I know where it is.
But that's a great observation.
Yeah. Okay, back to technology. The worst thing is, I love technology, yet I can't be on technology.
Listen, let's talk about that.
It messes my attitude up.
Okay, this is a great point. This truly is an unscripted shift like we do in the car. A lot of that stuff we were just doing is kind of, we get a little bit rambly. But no, you're right. Let's think about why that is. So here's the issue that he's bringing up is that anytime he's on screens, whether it does, and he's not playing a whole lot of video games, right? You're not on screens all the time.
I play crazy games, a website,
bro,
a few
once
times.
a week, maybe not even that. Once every 2 weeks.
I play like this. I go through phases. Like I might 1 month I'll play a game of crazy games and then play another one.
You are rarely on computer screens. You don't have any of the latest modern video games. And you're rarely on phones. But when you do get on these things for any amount of time, whether it's 10, 15 minutes or something, it like sparks something in your brain. And then if you're on there for any longer than, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 minutes, it makes what we call life floppy, which is essentially bored. And I'm going to tell you what that is.
Life floppy means that I like forget the things that I like, and I feel like I don't have anything that I have interest in.
So think about that.
Sometimes it does that, but if I immediately fall with going outside and find the longest snake skin ever, it's taller than me.
Yeah, which you did today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the counter to what you're describing to our listeners in that being on technology, being on screens, which again pointing out you were on there very, very minimal amount of time, but the count on screens overall, like you're on screens minimally.
Oh,
you don't have like the latest PlayStation. You don't have Nintendo Switch. You don't have all of this stuff.
Switch. Don't have an Xbox.
Right, but the counter to that is you being out in nature. So anytime you get that feeling where you feel like you're floppy, which sometimes when we say life floppy, he kind of gave a little bit of definition of it, but what we almost always mean too is that kind of takes away your desire to create.
My enthusiasm.
It takes away your enthusiasm, and here's why.
It takes away a good attitude. It kind of just makes you...
Yes. It gives you a bad attitude.
Makes you flop on the couch. That's
aggressive.
Why we call it floppy.
That's exactly why we call it that, because it fits it perfectly. And the counter to that is nature.
Like floppy.
Every time they can't see that, but that was a good illustration. Every time you're out in nature, it counters it, right? Mm-hmm. Because we talked about being fulfilled in nature. We talked about like the counter to the technological rush that's coming on us with AI and all of these systems and things that are coming. The counter to that is to go out in nature and be fulfilled, kind of like the touch grass type phrase, right?
Yeah.
I think the reason why it frustrates you. On the one hand, if anybody wants to comment and explain why, maybe more psychologically, I think it does speed up the brain. Okay, but I also think that when you waste time on electronics and screens, inside you, God has given each one of us, as part of being made in His image, a desire to create.
Especially men.
Especially men. That's exactly right. A desire to create and to build. And I think that those screens, those technologies, even video games, computers, even if it's something where you're like, hey, I'm just looking up something real quick here. What it does is it makes us realize that we have repressed that creating desire that's been inside us. We're unable to go out and experience that a connection with nature. We're unable to go out and experience that desire to build, to create, to take dominion or to subdue. So like when we go out earlier today, right? You're on screens. I'm like, dude, you got to get outside. Let's go outside. And we go out and we go collect chicken eggs, right? We're able to. We are exercising dominion over the chickens.
And I found the largest snake stem ever.
We feed them. We subdued them, and they provide us food back, right?
Yep.
And then you find a snake skin,
and they provide us poop.
A snake that you also have handled with your hands before. Fearlessly.
Not really my bare hands.
Well, gloves, yeah.
I used gloves once, bare hands once, but I didn't really have to carry it out.
Right, and how long is that snake?
Taller than me.
Possibly 6 feet long or so, black snake. I've got a video of him. He may be 6 to 7 feet long.
6, 7.
Yeah, thank you for that. I immediately regretted saying that.
Also, for you YouTubers who have comment, wow, you. That makes a really buzzy sound.
Yeah.
So for you YouTubers, it doesn't even when I talk low.
It's okay. The people who use
So for
YouTube,
you YouTubers,
there you go.
You can comment. You have a very powerful responsibility to comment. When you listen to this and you get to 2645, you're going to hear me ask you to comment. Please comment and tell me why in the world all these public school kids are talking about Skibbity Toilet 6-7. What is this stuff? Italian brain rot. What? I want to know.
I don't even know what that...
Okay, sorry we got a little off track there. My bad.
No, it's fine. It's what happens when the co-host is sitting in the host chair.
Good thing that I didn't have caffeine or it'd be worse. We found out last time I had caffeine, I was just staring off into the distance, and Dad was like, yeah, we're talking about the 6 views of evolution, or 6 views of creation. You got that? And I'm like...
Actually, it was last episode where we talked about the image of God.
Yeah, I knew that.
And I was like, are you with me? Are you with me? Look, so we're at the 28-minute mark. We have done much more rambling than we have unscripted, although we did touch on a couple maybe interesting
And we did
themes.
cut on an interesting thing.
Well, we'll fix that. It's no big deal.
What I think is crazy is your ability to make exciting things, sum them up as boring things.
What?
Because you said we covered some, what did you say, topics? Something topics?
Some interesting topics?
Interesting topics.
What did I do?
I wouldn't call them interesting.
No.
I called them stupid.
So listen, if we're just making small talk about, or making kind of, it's not even small talk.
I don't know why people call it small talk. Why can't it be minuscule talk, mini talk?
I don't even know why it's called
Tiny
that in the first place. Listen, but if we're just making conversation to get this thing rolling by talking about Ollie's or Harbor Freight or those sorts of things, yes, Chick-fil-A as well, it may not be educational, but it's still entertaining because it's just two of us conversing back and forth with one another. But the big thing is that we talked about that technology point, because I think coming up, we know this, we'll have an episode, I don't think next episode, but maybe a couple down the road.
So we need one more background episode for,
maybe at least
we're going to talk about the big one. This has been an ongoing concept for at least a year and a half, I think.
Yes.
And I like to call it The Rise of the Machines.
Yes.
There happened to be a Terminator movie called that, by the way.
Before we get to that, though, we're going to have to discuss work.
Yeah, work. Work and Eight Cousins.
Yeah, coming out of Genesis. But anyway, what I was going to get at is that with all of the stuff that's coming with technological advancements, I think it's important to point out that the way to kind of overcome or work your way through that is to unplug and get outside. All right, this is the unscripted. We got a little bit off the rails, a little bit rambly. It's not so much like the truck rides, which usually go from topic to topic to topic.
And we don't have to worry about bleeping anything out. We can name all the names we want to.
Name dropping.
In fact, I'll start saying every player of our team.
And I can drone on. Because you're in a truck and there's nowhere for you to go.
Yeah, and no. There is somewhere for me to go.
Where?
I dropped my consciousness. Every time you drone on, I actually flip a switch. Mom did this the other day to me, and I was like, in my mind, I wanted to say, I'm sorry, Mom, I lost you there for a second. Like, I literally just would stare out the window and be thinking,
you blacked out and forgot who you were for a minute?
I'd just be thinking about something random. So, I think we're going to wrap this one up.
All right, here we go.
I'm the host, so I'm closing. And I'm
right.
going to get really close so you can hear my voice really clear.
Don't hurt your ears, though.
So, thank you for watching the
Listen.
Family Pulpit Podcast.